Push a man, put your hand on my thigh. I need chills up and down my spine. Baby, can you get me high? Push a man, put your hand on.
Hello there, this is Rom Wills, and I'm back at you again with yet another video. Today, I'm going to talk about the 7 Goodbar archetypes. Now, anybody who has read my books and has read my many blogs know I divide men into 2 categories for dating: select and non-select. And then within each group, they're still divided into 2 subcategories. In the select group, you have the masked men and Mr. Goodbar. Now, I don't want to take up too much time and go through all of that. We'll just focus on Mr. Goodbar. Now, Mr. Goodbar, who can also be known as, that ladies' man, that lover man, the good man. That's that guy that drives women crazy. What it is, women just, they go crazy over him. They want to be in his presence all the time. They want to have sex with him all the time. He brings that passion. Now, I say back in, a couple summers ago, I wrote a blog called The Goodbar Clans. And that's where I divided the men in the Goodbar category into 8 different clans. Like how they in gaming and stuff, they have clans. Well, I did that with Mr. Goodbar, because it's not just one type of person, but for the blog I said 8 types, but for this video I'm gonna break it down into 7. And the reason I'm leaving that last archetype off, which I called the Tantra Brothers, is quite frankly it deserves its own video. And just in 2 years I've seen some different things, and it's caused me to reevaluate how I'm labeling different groups. And that's just life. You learn new things. I'm that type. I'm not stuck in anything. If I come across new information, I'm gonna use it. Anyway, let's get into the 7 archetypes of Mr. Goodbar. The first archetype, and just to let you know, this isn't done according to any hierarchy. They all exist together on the same playing field. They just different sides of the same coin, or cube rather. So anyway, the first archetype are the face men. Now, their primary calling card is they have above average looking faces. Very like you could describe them as extremely handsome men. The thing, I know there's a lot of folks out there who try to say looks don't matter, but yeah, it does. Now, when I say extraordinarily handsome, there's handsome, and then there's like what women call, oh my God, like they're going to stare at that person. That's those guys, the face men. Now, they might not have any money, or they might not have like a great body, but their face puts a woman into a trance. So that's one archetype. The next archetype are the muscle men. Now, the muscle men, it's just what it says. They're muscular. One of the things, and I wrote this in Nice Guys and Players, I wrote it in Sexual Chemistry, I wrote it in my book Meeting Attractive Women, and I talked about it in Players' Eyes. If a man really wants a woman, hit the gym. Seriously, and he don't have to change anything about his personality. He put some muscles on. Some woman is going to lose their mind. I would say if a man puts on maybe 10 pounds of muscle, if he's slim, or loses enough weight so some muscle starts to show, he's going to increase his dating chances. I mean, he might not get that, that dime or that extremely beautiful woman right away. But if he was somebody who wasn't drawing attention, he's at least going to get some looks. At least. The woman might return that text, and instead of the next day, she might take an hour or so. I mean, they just going to improve. But anyway, the muscle men, they just those guys who really develop their bodies and they drive women crazy. It's those types who have, they like the male exotic dancer types. Got the chest, got the abs, legs, all of that. Women go crazy over that. Now, these guys' calling card is their muscles. I mean, they probably, most cases, they're not going to be like the face men. I mean, they're probably average looking. You cut them off from the neck down, they probably look like any guy walking down the street. But they drawing women based on their muscular body builds. Now, the next archetype are what I'll call the style cats. And, somebody might have an average looking face. They might have an average body build. But you got some dudes out there who they can dress to the nines. They will hook that joint up. You hear what I'm saying? They will hook that joint up. I mean, I knew one cat. This dude, he would be suited and booted just to work on ordinary jobs. I mean, this would be the type of cat. He'd be so fly. He'd be having construction workers complimenting him. And this dude was just totally hetero. It was like, damn, dude, you wearing that suit. No homo. Man, the thing is, style drives women crazy. Like, if a guy has some style, a woman's going to look. Like, one thing, women will check out a man's shoes. I don't care what he wearing. That woman can tell you every scratch on a man's shoes when they check him out. A woman check out a man in 2 seconds and can tell you everything. If that shirt ain't ironed right, that crease ain't right, they can tell you. But they checking out that style. They checking out how the man hooking up his clothes. And you get some guys, they can hook it up, accessorize, and all that good stuff. So they're drawing the women that way. The fourth archetype are the notorious bad boys. They're actually the best known of the Goodbar archetypes, but they're really not like, I say there was no real hierarchy, but it's like they're really not the top one if I had to put them into a hierarchy, but it's like they're the ones everybody notices. And the thing about the bad boys, they range from just somebody who's a nonconformist and who's going to buck up, in any situation and not follow the rules, to straight up criminals. And that turns some women on. I mean, it really, what, I was about to get into the reason why, and there's a specific reason why, and I know I did a video before on sex appeal and the appeal of a thug, but it's actually a deeper social reason why bad boys are appealing to women, and I'll save that for a future video. But just know that they're one of the archetypes. And I mean, everybody knows that. It's like women love bad boys. And I mean, legitimate bad boys. Somebody try to, you get some guys who try to get some tattoos and stuff, look like a bad boy. But to be honest, the true bad boys, they are probably not somebody you would want in your home or something, because you might have to count your silverware afterwards. The next archetype are the cool dudes. Now, you have a guy, he might have an average face, he might not feel like hitting the gym. He might be, he might not have that money or, the inclination to build that wardrobe up. And dude's basically a good dude, so he ain't gonna be on some knucklehead shit. The cool dudes, you got those dudes who, they just cool with everybody. You ever just meet those dudes, they just cool with every male and female. They sit there, they have a conversation with you and make you feel like, yeah, man, you the coolest person. They ask how your day was. You always have that type of person. Any situation, whether it's job, school, neighborhood, you got that one guy who says hi to everybody, and they're talking to people and all of that. And it's just they cool. Now, they're not the type who going to get some woman on first look. In fact, a woman might not choose them up on first look. But if they get a chance to talk to a woman, that woman ready to go to the Momo right then. I knew one dude who was a cool dude. He talked to a woman, man. She be like, he'll open her up. Because one thing about cool dudes, they can pretty much click with everybody. but they cool. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest. That's like, I know people talk about like stuff like game and everything to get a woman if you're not like, physically attractive or have a lot of money. But if you cool with people, you get somebody nice and comfortable. And I actually talked about this in sexual chemistry. You get somebody comfortable, they'll overlook a lot of other stuff. They just feel comfortable, feel good in your presence. So that's the fifth archetype. I'm gonna switch this around. The sixth one is I called it in the original blog the Thoroughs, but I'll call it in this video leaders. A leader is a natural leader. You have those dudes who they just take charge, and not in a bullying way, but they just step up. They the ones who, things going to hell. They the ones who will make that phone call. They'll do what they got to do, and they don't wait. That's the natural leader. That's the one who, that's that, cat in the neighborhood who, you see some dudes acting up. He'll just walk over to him and be like, look, y'all need to stop that shit right now. They just thorough, and people respect them. You got that dude, he's cool. People gonna respect, people gonna follow him. See, here's the thing. Socially, and even biologically, most men and women are built to follow. But then you have that person, they're born to lead, what they call born leaders, a natural leader. And you can see that. That's the person who, he could be real quiet. He could be a quiet person, soft-spoken, but then if there's a crisis, that's the person who steps up the quickest. Everybody's running from the fire, that dude's running into it. And sometimes a leader's not always very vocal, but that's the type of person who, they do their thing. And that turns on a lot of women. There's a natural desire in women to submit to a man. That's become a dirty issue, dirty word with a lot of women, but there's a part of them that wants to submit to a man. But it has to be a man who's responsible enough and can actually, just take charge like that. So, that turns a woman on. That take charge type of guy. So, that's the sixth archetype. Where am I on time? Okay, this is going to be a little bit longer, y'all. Anyway, there's the last one. I saved this for last. I call them the big men. Y'all ever see those dudes? I mean, they'll be about, I don't know, mostly, they over 6 feet and they big. They may not be like cut and muscular, but they solid. Might even have a little gut. But they be tearing up some women, yo. It cracked me up. Big man cracked me up because nothing entertains me more than when I'm around a big man type of player. And you be looking at him thinking that'd be like the type of guy who might be cool getting like just some nice woman and, chilling out. Nah, those dudes be having about 5 or 6 women. Because what it is with the big men, if you really pay attention to them, are very gregarious, very outgoing, and they pretty much take people as they are. So, that can do something for a woman. That makes a woman feel some type of way. Some guy is chilling. And plus, you get some big men, they will stroke anything that move. They be like, and shoot, you be a heterosexual bell around them and they see them coming, you just stand still because these dudes are just like, boom. But what it is, a lot of women out here, they might not look the hottest or whatever. That big man, he'll take care of them. You get a lot of women who, in American culture anyway, the average woman is actually overweight. I mean, and, there's a serious health issue, but they still want love and stuff, and they still want to feel like a woman. I remember a friend of mine, she was telling me about her guy. I knew the guy, big 6'9" dude, and she was a healthy young lady. And I said, you got that big ass dude because he can flip you, right? She just bust out laughing because she knew what was up. See, those guys, they get theirs. People be looking like, he get it, he got a little bit of a gut, or he all big. But dude, big guys are just like that. They cool. Plus, they the type, they'll barbecue out like in the middle of a snowstorm. So it's like you'd always party with them too. So, but those are 7 archetypes of Goodbar. Those are 7 archetypes of Goodbar. Now, despite any differences, there's actually one thing every single group has in common, which actually makes them Mr. Goodbar. Because you got some guys who have handsome faces, but they don't turn on women. Some guys who hit the gym, then, you know, they still don't turn on a lot of women. Or, you know, the guys that dress well, you know, some guys actually on Bad Boys or Thugs. I mean, I almost got in a fight one time with a thug because he wouldn't get no play. You know, some guys are real cool, but they get friend zone. And, you know, some guys are leaders and they can't find any woman who want to follow them. But every archetype has one thing that sets them apart, that actually puts them in the Goodbar category. And if a man doesn't have this, he is not seen as Mr. Goodbar with a woman. And I'm going to talk about it on a video next week. Anyway, thank you for listening, and peace and blessings.
Push 'em man, put your hand on my thigh. I need chills up and down my spine. Baby, can you get me high? Push 'em man,